Hi folks, Kevin here. Well, it's March 30th, 2018, and last week, or the beginning of this week, I can't remember what, I posted a video on the seedling update over here in the work area, and I've only planted a few more, started a few more seed trays since then, mostly wildflowers and all, and I'll take you around to our board to just give you an idea of what we've got planted so far. So here's our board. Thea takes care of starting all this information and all. She transfers it from all of the plants that I've been labeling, each one of the seed trays and all. So the plants are doing pretty well, and I wanted to go over a couple of the other features that we implement in trying to prevent disease and promote the health and increase germination and decrease loss of those seedlings that have been germinated. So one thing is, let me just turn the camera on up here, and I've got these off for the benefit of filming. I have these air circulation fans, so I have one at each end of the hall. So go right down here. So this is one of the south hall, and there's one way down here at the end of the north hall. So right there. And then I have a very large fan as well. So one of the features is getting a circulation of the airflow going around this whole work area, going through the wall, because it's a non-studded area that I have the circulation going through. And what we try to do is take the airflow and keep it continuously circulating around. Then there's another component here. This is another element that we use in maintaining the health of our plants. We live in a very humid climate, so not only do we have all the snowfall and all of the cloud cover, well, we have the high humidity associated with the Great Lakes as well, and in the springtime it's absolutely very humid. So you want to control the humidity in this area where I'm watering the plants all the time. So this dehydrator, I actually have plumb going into the sink system, so it just goes ahead and I can run it continuously to try and maintain the proper environment for the seedlings. So what do I mean by trying to maintain the proper environment? One of the problems that I've had in the past is I've developed algae growth. I haven't had too much mold growth, but I've had some algae growth on the surface of the seedling individual cells. And they compete, and they can actually create more of an infestation. It's a food source for some insects as well. And it can help to devitalize or decrease the potential of these seedlings surviving, and we have increased losses. So one of the things that I try to do, although I want to keep the plants adequately watered, and I do water them, and I'll show you in a few minutes with a time lapse. I'm going to go through watering everything here. But I'll use a wand to go ahead and water each one of these flats, and I'll do it right over the sink over here, and I do 2 trays at a time. And there's the wand right there, very gentle shower. And so I overhead water each one of these cell flats, and once they're watered, there's so much organic material, so much humus, that it tends to hold a significant amount of water. And with the lights in here and the surface being moist, then it increases the chances of either mold or algae growing on the surface, which is detrimental for the growth and development of the seedlings. I found it to be more important than having, now ideally I'd have 2 of these shop light LED fixtures over each one of these so that they wouldn't be becoming leggy or stretching out so much and weakening the plants themselves. They all tend to do pretty darn well, even though they can get leggy. I've had these lights much closer to the surface in the past, but that also increased the amount of algae. So one of the things I do is keep the air flowing in here very, very well. Have the dehumidifier going, because right now it's raining outside. It's been raining for a couple of days straight. So the rain has let up a little bit. It's actually just stopped. We're just sprinkling right now, so that's good. But you can see it's just all overcast clouds. It's been raining pretty steadily. The snow has really melted a lot. Just patchy spots out there right now. All of the swale systems are running like the dickens. A little bit of activity out here, going back inside. That's the area where the future greenhouse is going up. Hopefully this summer I'll get that done. So by having the fans going and the dehumidifier going, and if for some reason I do a lot of spillage, I have a larger circulation fan that I can set up and move around on the floor to try and get that excess humidity under control. I'm going to try and capture some of the ladybugs in the house and bring them over here so that they can help to keep control. As we start opening up the doors, we're going to get some more pests in here, and that'll slow things down a bit. Well, I just got done getting all of the seed flats watered, and I moved the sweet potatoes down so that the slips can start growing at this point. So we're just going to do a quick census going through the system here and seeing just how well everything's going. Okay, these are 3 flats of the dill, mammoth dill, planted on March 24th. No eruptions yet. Same with the sage, nothing really developing there, all on the 24th. And today's, I think, the 29th. Lemon basil, I don't see anything with that. That was 24th as well. Sweet basil, nothing going on there. Nothing with the pickling salt and pepper cucumbers yet. That was the 25th. March 25th, arugula. I see some small plants starting to erupt here. Collards planted on the 25th. They're erupting just fine. And there's just a couple of little tiny ruby red Swiss charge. They were planted on the 25th as well. Down here, the winter squashes and watermelons. Nothing developing there yet. They were all planted on the 22nd. Same thing here with the zephyr squash and the Hubbard winter squash. Nothing erupting down there yet. Here we got cherry tomatoes on the 22nd, nothing yet. Watermelon, the 22nd, nothing yet. Some of the older tomatoes that we kept around and planted on the 22nd, nothing there. Red Russian kale, doing very well. The melons up there and Kakai pumpkin, nothing going on up there yet. Those were planted on the 22nd. Tomatoes, there are some, is this the cherry tomato ones that have erupted? Yes. So those cherry tomatoes have popped up. Nothing really going on with the peppers yet up there. They were planted on the 21st. The same with the cherry tomatoes up there. This, I think, is a Red Russian kale. I'm not positive. I just didn't get that one labeled. That was on the 24th. These were all planted on the 22nd, and I see just the inkling of a San Maranzo tomato here. None of the peppers popping up there yet. Down here we have some of the collards. 2 trays of collards erupting. They were planted on the 22nd. Here's some of the blue sweet potatoes I just wet down for the first time. And we'll see how they end up doing. And here we go with various peppers that were planted on the 21st. Lots of peppers planted on the 21st. Same up here as well. Really nothing developing yet with those peppers. The leeks, they're doing very well. Pretty happy with those. A lot of them are flopped over because I just got done watering everything. Leeks are looking good. I'll go up to the top in a few minutes. More leeks. Red onions are emerging. There's somewhat growth developed so far. Down below here, these were planted on the 26th. These are some rosemary and some, what do we got? Some wildflowers as well. Red onions here, all along in here, they're starting to develop. And they were planted again on the 13th, I believe. And on the 25th, we planted down here, where's some zucchini, some cantaloupe down here. Nothing emerging down there yet. Just red onions doing well. Red onions doing pretty well. The leeks up there I know are doing pretty well. The celery, nothing yet up there yet. I don't believe that they've started to erupt at all yet. Nothing with the Orient Charm eggplant yet. We really love this variety. They were planted on the 19th, so it's 10 days ago now. More leeks, red cabbages have popped up. They were planted on the 19th, 10 days ago. The red cabbages look great. We have some wildflowers that are starting to show up. They were planted on the 24th, some of the varieties anyways. Down here, a couple more of the wildflowers down here as well. Curly kale doing very well. A lot of it got knocked over with watering. Curly kale. Some of the cauliflower has erupted nicely. That was planted on the 20th. And some of the cauliflower up here doing really well. Really looking good. The broccoli, which is doing fantastic. The diplomat that was planted on the 19th. And more there as well. Well, that's our update over here in the work area. I'm pretty happy with how well the plants are doing thus far. We'll just have to see how things go. The upper lights up there are a little bit too close to the seed flats. I can see the inkling or the beginning of some algae growth up there. When the lights are a little bit too close to the soil surface, that can stimulate some of the algae growth, so I'll have to work on that. So that's it for the update. If you think this was of value, please give us a thumbs up, ask questions, leave comments. I will put a link in case somebody has questions about the Orbit and the Dram wands that I've been using. They have interchangeable wand ends on them, so if they get sand or they start to get filled in, you can unscrew them, or if you have hard water, you can put them in some vinegar, clears them right up. I like to take these wands because we do have hard water around here, and put them in some vinegar at times just to break down some of the minerals deposits that end up on them, and that seems to make them last a bit longer. Can't leave them in too long with some of the metals, but if you do it a couple times a season, I think it works out pretty well. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, have a fantastic day, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and feel free to share this with your friends and people who might be interested in this sort of thing. Thanks so much, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now. Hi folks, Kevin here. Well, it's March 30th, 2018, and last week, or the beginning of this week, I can't remember what, I posted a video on the seedling update over here in the work area, and I've only planted a few more, started a few more seed trays since then, mostly wildflowers and all, and I'll take you around to our board to just give you an idea of what we've got planted so far. So here's our board. Thea takes care of starting all this information and all. She transfers it from all of the plants that I've been labeling, each one of the seed trays and all. So the plants are doing pretty well, and I wanted to go over a couple of the other features that we implement in trying to prevent disease and promote the health and increase germination and decrease loss of those seedlings that have been germinated. So one thing is, let me just turn the camera on up here, and I've got these off for the benefit of filming. I have the